Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 4 NBA player props to go ahead and share with you guys in tonight's NBA slate. But first, guys, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night. And overall, guys, we had a solid performance. Not a great night, but a solid night overall. 3-2 performance. We did actually make a little money, so we did technically cash. I didn't put it in the thumbnail, though, because to me, you got to win over a unit to go ahead and put it in the thumbnail that we cashed last night. But we did have a profitable night, slightly profitable. 3-2 last night. Şengün and Kevin Durant, we were off on those 2 player props. However, the rest of our props, we did hit Ja Morant. A little bit of a sweat. Anthony Edwards, too, was very close. Finished with 29 points. But hey, again, we could have done a little bit better, but overall, solid night. We are now 6-3 so far this week on our player props, so pretty good. We are up over 2 units profit this week, which is, again, solid. Overall this year, 159 and 131 in our single bet category. When you combine the profits from single bets and parlays, we are up over 23 units profit this year in the NBA when it comes to player props. Having a really solid year. Let's keep those good time rolling coming into today's video. 4 player props coming your way right now. Jumping right into the outlier screen, guys. Our first player prop from today's slate comes from the Wizards-Pistons game, 7 p.m. tip-off. I actually have 2 player props coming from this very game. Our first of 2 player props from this Wizards-Pistons game, we have Malik Beasley of the Detroit Pistons over 15.5 points plus assists. We're getting this one for minus 120. Oh, actually, minus 118 over on BetMGM. We'll take that. A little extra value there. Minus 118 over on BetMGM. It is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. As always, guys, make sure to shop around for the best sportsbook odds available. And look, guys, the data is very solid on this player prop for Malik Beasley, and the matchup is even better. From a recent standpoint, Malik Beasley has cashed this over in 7 of his last 10 games, averaging 17.7 points plus assists per game over his last 10 games. Go ahead and stretch the data out to the last 20 games, 70% hit rate, averaging 18.25 points plus assists per game over the last 20 games. Go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view, and it's really solid for a player prop with minus 118 odds. We have a 67% hit rate on the year. 44 out of 66 games he's cashed the over, averaging 18.14 points plus assists per game overall this season. So like I said, really, really good numbers. And then you go ahead and look at the head-to-head data. 3 of his last 5 matchups against the Wizards, he's cashed the over, averaging 15.4 points plus assists per game. He's played Washington 2 times so far this year. He's cashed the over both times they played back on November 17th, and then the most recent matchup literally 2 days ago on March 11th. That game 2 days ago was kind of a blowout. He only played 22 minutes in that game and still cashed the over. So if he does play a little bit more, we should have some better results in that one. He did only take 10 shots, shot 5 or 10 from the floor, 50%, pretty solid. And he did hit a lot of threes, which is a little concerning because if he only takes that many shots again, if he doesn't go 4 for 6 or whatever from 3, then we are in a little bit of a tough spot. But again, he should play more than 22 minutes in this game and should hopefully take some more shots in this game as well. And speaking of head-to-head matchup, the Washington Wizards are the worst defensive team in the NBA. I mean, I guess you could make the argument Chicago. There are a couple other teams, but to me, I think this is the worst defensive team in the NBA. 30th overall in points allowed, 25th overall in assists. You narrow it down to the shooting guard position. Second worst in assists allowed, worst in points allowed. So a really good matchup for Malik Beasley here. And one last stat to show you guys the insights provided by Outlier. Malik Beasley has exceeded 15.5 points plus assists in 5 straight games versus bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. He's averaging 19 points plus assists per game over that 5-game data range. And yes, the Wizards their last game out 2 days ago does fit this data range as well. So overall across the board, really good numbers here. For Malik Beasley seems like a pretty good spot. And for minus 120 odds, really good value. Actually, I lied. One more data point I want to show you guys. So I really want to hammer home that this is a really solid player prop here. We also have the data to show without Jaden Ivey this year, who obviously is out for the season. And Malik Beasley this year, when Jaden Ivey does not play, a 72% hit rate this year without Jaden Ivey in the lineup. 26 out of 36 games, averaging 19.25 points plus assists per game. So really good numbers, minus 120 odds. That's our first player prop in today's video. For our second player prop, again, sticking with the same game and actually sticking with the same team here, we're going Cade Cunningham of the Pistons over 14.5 rebounds plus assists, which we're getting for minus 132 odds over on FanDuel. Now, this one, the data is not as impressive, but still very, very solid. You do see 6 of his last 10 games he's cashed the over, averaging 13.7 rebounds plus assists per game. Go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view for Cade Cunningham. 57% hit rate on the year for Cade, averaging 15.36 rebounds plus assists per game this year. So again, we have the line is 14.5 rebounds plus assists. He's averaging 15.36 rebounds plus assists. So it looks like we got a pretty good player prop on our hands here. Now, from a head-to-head standpoint, 80% hit rate. He's cashed it in 4 straight games against the Washington Wizards dating back to last year. They played 2 times this year, and both times they played this season, he's had some really big games. You see back on November 17th, he had 20 rebounds plus assists, 10 and 10 even. And then just 2 days ago, he had 8 rebounds and 10 assists. So again, some really big performances against Washington this year. He's cashed it in 4 straight games. Again, it makes a lot of sense. Washington, the worst rebounding team in the NBA, and they are bottom 6 in the league, bottom 5 actually, and assists allowed in general, versus the point guard position, 22nd in rebounds, 24th in assists. So it does get a little bit better, but not much. And speaking of their last game out, he had way more opportunities to do even more than what he already did. He had 16 potential assists in that game, and he had 13 rebound chances. So 29 potential rebounds and assists, and he finished with 18. So he did leave some stats there on the table that he could have gotten more, which obviously is very intriguing for them when they play again tonight. The insights provided by Outlier, Cade Cunningham has exceeded 15.5. We have it at 14.5, so it's even better. Actually, the data gets better when you adjust it to the 14.5 line, but he's exceeded 15.5 rebounds plus assists in 7 of his last 9 games at home, averaging 16.6 rebounds plus assists per game over his last 9 home games. Again, we are getting it at 14.5, so the data is actually better. It's actually 8 of his last 9 home games he's cashed the over, so that just increases our chances here. The one big thing I'm worried about here, of course, is the potential of a blowout. Now, they did play a couple days ago, like we've mentioned a couple times already. They beat him by 20 points, so it kind of was a blowout already, and he still cashed the over. He did play about 32 minutes in that game, so it's not like he didn't play any fewer minutes. He's averaging about 34 minutes per game over his last 9 last 10 games. So that's not his home games, the last 10 games in general. Averaging 34 minutes, so he did play below his average. You see the games before that, 38.9, 37.6, 36.2. He could have played more, but as long as he plays somewhere in that ballpark, I think we should be good to go here. We've got 2 player props left in today's video, guys. But first, before we finish off with the rest of our picks, we're about to hit the 8-minute mark in today's video. If you are still watching at this point, please comment 8 down below. Let me know who's still watching all the way through. As always, guys, we appreciate those who watch through each and every single video here at Guy Boston Sports. They don't just jump down to the comment section to get the picks. I mean, you could do that. I am judging you a little bit, but we really do appreciate those who put a lot of hard work here. So to those who actually do watch all the way through, who listen to the research, who listen to the information, and don't just jump to the picks, we really do appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. So let me know who is here, who is rocking with us today. Comment 8 down below in the comment section. All right, guys, our third player prop in today's slate. We are moving on to the Lakers-Bucks game, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going Luka Doncic of the Lakers over 17.5 rebounds plus assists. And I have been addicted to taking Luka props since he's joined the Lakers. And honestly, it's been pretty profitable if you can kind of nail it down right. Luka over 17.5 rebounds plus assists. We're getting this one for minus 122 over on FanDuel. If you guys have Underdog or Prize Picks, it is available for a little bit better over on those sports books. I don't have those, unfortunately. But data is pretty solid here. You see 6 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. He's averaging exactly 18 rebounds plus assists over his last 10 games. So he's averaging right around where we need him to be. And believe it or not, time has flown by. He's actually played enough games with the Lakers now where all 10 of these games are with him in a Lakers jersey. He's coming off a really big game 2 days ago where he did have 24 rebounds and assists against Brooklyn. So, he has some really, really big performance versus Dallas there. And in that revenge game, he had 27 rebounds plus assists. He has some pretty big performances here in terms of rebounds and assists. Now, especially with LeBron James being out, he has to play more. He has to shoulder more of the responsibility on this Lakers team without LeBron James. You do see the last few games without LeBron here now. 43 minutes, 37 minutes, just about 41 minutes. He's playing a lot more minutes because he has to. But the key thing to note is look at the potential assists and the rebound chances over the last 10 games. He's averaging 14.7 potential assists and 15.2 rebound chances. He's averaging just about 30 rebound/assist opportunities in each and every game. Again, we need him to get 18 here, which means we need him to convert more than half of those. But the opportunities are certainly there. The volume is certainly there. This obviously being a very big game with the Milwaukee Bucks. Pretty good matchup. Going to be a pretty solid game to go ahead and watch. Luka and the Lakers versus Giannis in Milwaukee. Now, the overall numbers, which goes back to the early part of the year when he was still in Dallas, it's not great. 41% hit rate. He's cashed the over in just 14 of his 34 games this year. He is averaging 16.24 rebounds plus assists per game. This line is slightly elevated. But the head-to-head data, although the sample size is on the smaller side, it's pretty solid. Each of his last two meetings with the Milwaukee Bucks, both of them, of course, taking place last season when he was a member of the Dallas Mavericks. He did cash the over both times, averaging 19 rebounds plus assists per game across those two meetings with the Milwaukee Bucks. Played a healthy amount of minutes in those games as well. Overall this year for Milwaukee, 24th in rebounds allowed to opposing teams. Not a very good rebounding team this year, which is kind of surprising from the Bucks. You'd think they'd be better. And assists allowed, they're top half of the league, 12th in assists allowed. Not good, but not bad either. Luka, again, he's always tough to kind of nail down because he's kind of a positionless unicorn where you don't really know. I wouldn't call him a point guard. I wouldn't call him, I guess a shooting guard would be the closest, but he's not. He's big. I mean, he's a small forward. That's not a fat joke. He's big in the sense that he's basically a forward that plays like a guard. I'll just show you guys versus point guards. The Bucks, 30th in rebounds, 19th in assists. The Bucks versus shooting guards, 20th in rebounds, 12th in assists, and versus small forwards, 25th in rebounds, 18th in assists. The only areas where Milwaukee still ranks really solid in terms of rebounds and assists, you got to go down to power forwards and centers. They do rank pretty well in both of those categories, which is where Giannis and Brook Lopez kind of do most of their work. He's listed as a point guard. Again, I don't consider him to be a point guard, but against the 1, 2, and 3 spots, the Bucks are bottom half of the league in rebounds and assists allowed. So I think whatever way you shake it, it should be a pretty good matchup here for Luka Doncic against the Milwaukee Bucks. As long as he plays that high volume of minutes like he has been without LeBron, we should be good to go here on this player prop. And for minus 122, not bad value. By the way, guys, before we wrap up today's video with our final player prop, I want to give a special shout out to our sponsor of today's video, Outlier, aka the best sports betting tool on the market. Guys, everything that you've seen today in this video, and if you've been watching me for a while now, I use Outlier in each and every single NBA player prop video I do here on the channel. It's the best. And again, all the stuff you've seen, all the information, all the stats that you have seen in today's video are coming from Outlier. And the best part is with the offer down below in the description, we do have a special 7-day free trial for you guys to go ahead and check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Try it out for yourself. I'm only giving you guys a little sliver of what Outlier provides. There's so much more: game insights, props, EV betting, arbitrage betting. There's so much stuff with March Madness coming up, Major League Baseball. We actually have Dodgers Cubs in like less than a week in the Japan. I think they're playing in Japan. That starts off the regular season. Then following that, we have opening day coming up very soon. NBA, NHL playoffs are both coming up on the horizon. WNBA is returning. We got a lot of stuff. Golf is coming. We got the Masters on the horizon. So much stuff coming up in the next month or so, and Outlier can be by your side for each and every single thing to go ahead and bet on it. I'm actually planning on doing a video soon. It's actually been very heavily requested. I did a video last year where I kind of showed you guys how I go ahead about betting props and doing stuff. I'm actually going to go ahead and do another video like that very soon, probably for baseball season. Got a little more time in the schedule coming up, so I will have some time to make some more extra videos like that. So make sure to tune in for that. I will make sure to show you guys how Outlier works more in depth in that video coming out in a couple weeks. But yeah, check out Outlier, 7-day free trial down below. Link in the description. You won't be disappointed, guys. You try it for 7 days. You don't like it, you cancel it. No cost to you guys at all. Special thank you to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. Let's wrap things up here with our fourth and final pick in today's slate. And for our fourth and final player prop in today's video, we're moving on to the Nets-Bulls game, 8 p.m. tip-off. We're going Nikola Vucevic of the Chicago Bulls over 11.5 rebounds plus assists. We're getting this one for minus 136 over on FanDuel. The data across the board is absolutely fantastic. You would think we're betting with an alternate line because the data is so solid here. Vucevic has cashed the over in 7 of his last 10 games, averaging 13 rebounds plus assists per game. over his last 10 games. Go ahead and stretch that data out to the last 20 games. 75% hit rate over his last 20, averaging 13.9 rebounds plus assists per game. Go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view. 74% hit rate, averaging 13.63 rebounds plus assists per game. So whatever way you want to shake it, the data in the recent data, the overall data, everything looks really, really good, and a lot of green here on this player prop. From a head-to-head perspective, he's cashed it in 5 consecutive meetings with the Brooklyn Nets. A straight green bean there, 100% hit rate over the last 5, averaging 14.2 rebounds plus assists over their last 5 matchups. He's played Brooklyn 2 times this year, back on November 1st and then again on December 2nd. This year, both times, they've gone ahead and cashed the over. So like I said, really good matchup data here for Vucevic. And it makes a lot of sense. The Brooklyn Nets 14th in rebounds allowed, 20th in assists allowed to opposing centers. Over the last 7 games, it's kind of right where that is, about middle of the road. The Nets, they're not a good rebounding team versus centers. They're not a bad rebounding team. Not the best match of all time for Vucevic, but he has had a very good success rate against the Brooklyn Nets. I don't see why he shouldn't have that again in today's matchup. Solid matchup, solid to decent matchup, I should say. Straight green bean in the head-to-head category. 74% hit rate on the year for a -1, what would we say, -136? Not even an alternate line. Not bad value at all for all the green data. Even the last 5 games, 60% hit rate, 3 of his last 5. So some really solid numbers here for Vucevic. That's the 4th and final player prop in today's NBA slate. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, guys, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We'll be back tomorrow with our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. Really excited to go ahead and share that one with you guys. Until then, I hope you're all winners. Make sure to check out, we got Trey doing our college basketball picks here on the channel. Obviously, we have all the big conference tournaments starting today and going through the weekend as we prepare for March Madness, and I think next week it starts, or in the coming weeks. So a lot of great content here. Ev's got obviously his NBA picks, and we're going to be doing some extra college basketball content between myself, Ev, and Trey for March Madness coming up. So make sure, if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel. Until tomorrow, guys, hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money.